I got my revenge without him knowing that I knew. I never planned to get revenge, not even when I discovered the truth. If someone had asked me beforehand what I would do in the face of betrayal, I would have said I'd leave without looking back. That I wouldn't tolerate a lie like that. That I wouldn't stay 1 second longer. That's what I said. That's what I believed. But when it actually happens, when the betrayal isn't someone else's story but your own life quietly breaking apart, decisions aren't that simple. At first, I only felt that strange emptiness in my stomach, like when you go down too fast in an elevator and your body arrives before your mind. A physical, absurd sensation, hard to explain. I thought it was stress, or exhaustion, or that anxiety that builds up when a routine no longer fully belongs to you. I told myself nothing was wrong, but something was. It all started with something stupid, a charger. Mine had broken, so I took his without asking. It was automatic, ordinary, insignificant. His phone vibrated. I wasn't gonna check it, I swear. I was never the type to invade privacy. But the screen lit up on its own, as if fate had decided to intervene, and a notification appeared that froze the air in my lungs. Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you. There was no name, just a black heart emoji. Black heart. I locked the phone immediately. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't ask anything. Silence was the only thing I could give myself in that moment. I convinced myself it meant nothing, that it was probably an overly dramatic friend, that someone had sent the message to the wrong number, that I was looking for problems where there were none. The mind is an expert at building excuses when the heart isn't ready to accept the truth. But I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling, listened to his calm breathing beside me, and wondered when we had become two people living parallel lives. I thought about every promise, every plan, every "I love you" said without hesitation. Over the following days, I began to notice things I had chosen to ignore before. The phone always face down. New passwords. Over time that didn't add up. A new perfume that wasn't the usual one. That distracted smile when he typed messages that weren't for me. Each detail was small, but together they formed something enormous. Part of me didn't want to know, because knowing meant destroying the life I had built over 5 years. It meant accepting that I had been loving alone for longer than I was willing to admit. But another part of me needed the truth, even if it hurt, even if it burned. A week later, while he was in the shower, his phone vibrated again. This time, I didn't look away. It wasn't just a message. It was an entire conversation. Months, photos, voice notes, plans, private laughter that was no longer mine. Words that used to belong to me were now being shared between two people. It wasn't a mistake. It wasn't recent. It wasn't confusion. It was a carefully constructed double life. I felt nauseous. I sat on the bathroom floor and leaned my back against the cold wall. The frozen tiles pulled me back to reality. I remember thinking one thing very clearly. If I confront him now, I'm going to lose. Because he would cry. Because he would apologize. Because he would tell me it was a mistake. Because he would promise to change. And because I, as always, would forgive him. So I made a decision that surprised even me. I said nothing. I wasn't going to leave broken. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to become the weak character in a story I never chose. If I left, it would be on my terms. Over the following months, I became the best version of myself. In silence, I smiled, cooked, I listened, I supported him. I continued being the perfect partner, the one who never suspects, the one who trusts. Meanwhile, I built my exit. I opened a savings account in my own name. I updated my resume. I accepted a freelance project he thought was small. I started therapy. I reconnected with friends I had stopped seeing. I began recovering parts of myself I hadn't realized I was slowly shutting down. I also observed. I discovered that she didn't know about me, that he told her he was trapped in a loveless relationship, that he promised to leave me soon, that he presented himself as the victim of a story he himself had created. I never messaged her. I never confronted her. She wasn't my enemy. My revenge wasn't going to be loud. It was going to be precise. It was going to be patient. It was going to be freedom. The breaking point came the day he suggested we move in together somewhere bigger. He talked about the future with a naturalness that was terrifying, as if he had never lied, as if he wasn't living two lives at the same time. That night, while he slept, I took his phone one last time, not to cry, not to confirm anything, just to close cycles. I saved evidence, backed everything up, and turned the phone off. 2 weeks later, I signed a contract for a job in another city. More money, more growth, and something I had forgotten existed. Peace. The day I left, there was no drama, no screaming, no tears. I left him a short note. Thank you for everything. I need something different. Don't look for me. Nothing more. I blocked his number, deleted my social media, closed the door, and left. For months, I heard nothing from him, and it was the best silence I've ever known. Until one day, a mutual friend told me what happened. When I disappeared, he panicked. He sought comfort in her, and that's when everything exploded. She discovered I existed, that I wasn't an ex, that I wasn't a poorly told story, that I was the long-term official partner. He lost everything that same day, her, me, and his job, because that small freelance project I had been handling was essential, and without me it failed. I never confronted him. I never told him I knew. I never showed him proof. But I know something he can't escape. He will always wonder how much I knew, since when, and how he lost someone who loved him without even realizing it. I didn't win by yelling. I didn't win by humiliating him. I didn't win by exposing him. I won by leaving whole. Today I have a new life, not perfect, but honest, calm, mine. And sometimes, when I remember everything, I don't feel anger. I feel relief, because the best revenge wasn't that he suffered. It was that I stopped doing so, without him ever knowing that I knew.